we are back again with another topic, which is respiration, and this is a part of your chapter Life Process in grade 10. So let's begin the topic today. So let's understand what is respiration and how it is different from breathing. My first question is, what is the difference between respiration and breathing? See, normally what do we do during breathing? We take in oxygen and give out CO2. Same thing, normally what if I ask any student, they will normally respond as respiration is also taking in of oxygen and giving out CO2. But the answer is not so. Respiration is a chemical process. It is a chemical process which involves the use of oxygen to break down glucose. Now, what is respiration and what is the use of respiration? Without respiration, we won't be able to do any of the tasks in our life. So let's understand the respiration. You have taken the food during during the phase of digestion. The food is digested and there will be absorption of food over that time. So after absorption of food, there will be the requirement of release of energy. There will be the requirement of release of energy, which will be done by respiration. Alright, so let's understand the food material taken during the process of respiration is used in the cells to provide energy. Okay, so what happened is you are taking in the food, and once the food is taken in, it is being absorbed by the cell, and finally we have to release the energy. Okay, so we have to release the energy. So this energy will be utilized in doing other works inside the body. Okay, so now when we talk about respiration, there are different organisms which do different way. So there are different ways by which the energy is produced. So let's understand the first thing. Some uses oxygen while some do not use oxygen. This is very, very important. Not all the organisms are going to use oxygen for respiration, and some will use and some will not use oxygen at certain conditions. So let's understand. Now respiration, what we are trying to do is we are breaking the glucose. Right? We are breaking the glucose to release energy. We have to break down the glucose. Now, breaking literally means you have to break that and you have to make it into pieces. Over here, glucose is breaking down. Iska matlab ye hai, the 6 carbon is getting broken down to 3 carbon. The number of carbon is getting reduced, which is actually meaning breaking down of glucose. So, we will be able to understand more about it as we move ahead with the slides. Okay. So the two things are very, very clear. Respiration is what? It is the process by which we release energy from the glucose and we use oxygen. We can use oxygen at certain point, and at certain point we do not need oxygen to break down the glucose to release energy. So when we are not using oxygen, we get CO2 and water, and when we use oxygen, we break down the glucose, and a complete breakdown of glucose is going to happen to produce CO2 and water. Okay, let's go ahead with the next point which we need to understand. So, what is respiration? I have already told you, oxidative breakdown, that means use of oxygen. We will use oxygen to break glucose to release energy. What is the formula of glucose? It is C6H12O6. Okay, so this is actual formula of a glucose. We have to break the glucose to release energy. Let's understand the equation of respiration, which is very, very important. Food, which is actually our glucose, is being broken down in the presence of oxygen to release water, then carbon dioxide and energy, which can be used for the formation of ATP. Now, very, very important over here, I have written one point, if you can see, 38 ATP will be released as a complete oxidation of one molecule of glucose. Okay. So, what is oxidation? I have already told you, the use of oxygen to break certain chemical compounds. So it will release. So every time one molecule of glucose is broken down, we will get 38 ATP. 38 ATP will be released on every time the oxidation of one molecule of glucose is happening. Okay. So let's go ahead with the next point over here. So the first case, now understand the first step in all the respiration, which is very common, is glucose will be broken down to pyruvate. What is glucose? It's a 6-carbon molecule. Glucose is a 6-carbon molecule. Okay, it has to be broken down to a 3-carbon molecule. We are calling it as pyruvate. Okay, another important point over here is where is it happening? This process is happening in the cytoplasm. You know what is the cytoplasm? You have studied in grade 9 cell structure and function. This is the cell, and the fluid part of the cell is known as the cytoplasm. Okay, the semi-fluid particles or the semi-fluid part of the cell. Okay, now what happens to the pyruvate? First step is done. Glucose is broken down to pyruvate. Now pyruvate will either go or break or undergo anaerobic respiration, which is in the absence of oxygen, no oxygen present, or else pyruvate will undergo a process of aerobic respiration, which is in the presence of O2, okay, presence of oxygen. Now this anaerobic respiration, the product will be formed as ethanol and CO2. What is an ethanol? What is an ethanol basically?